Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and today we're going to open up the Masterverse Vintage Collection Skeletor, the evil lord of destruction. And as you guys know, I've been putting off waiting to open this figure for a long time until I could have some time to actually do it upright. So to do it upright, I have some Skeletor figures here. This is from the 80s, this is from the 2000s, and this is from recently in the 2-pack that we got. And then of course I have a classics. They're like, wait a minute, this is not 2000X. No, this is 2000, just 2000. Part of the commemorative line, you can see, because he has the indented foot here, which means he's from the commemorative line of figures we got from 2000 and 2001. All right, so without further ado, let's set these guys aside and let's break open this cool new figure and check them out and do some comparisons. So the idea is Mattel made this new line called the Vintage Collection, and this line is supposed to look like our vintage figures we had back in the 80s. And so looking at him, he looks like I remember how the figures look, but I don't think exactly like how they really did look. So let's go ahead and break this down and check it out and see what we see. So on the back of the box, they show he has his power sword and his havoc staff, and then of course it says evil lord of destruction. So cool. There it is. There he is. And then it has a cool box art on the top that shows him scheming to take over Castle Grayskull and then eventually all of Eternia. Dun 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 dun. And at the bottom down here, it's got some little extra text. It said, in 1982, Masters of the Universe took to the world by storm with action figures that captured the imagination of people from here to Eternia. Today, the Masterverse celebrates the original designs as a modern 7-inch scale action figures with the Vintage Collection. Now, it's interesting when they say the original design, do they mean the card art on the back? Let me take a look. Where is my picture? Oh man, I set it down somewhere and I have no idea where I set it down. The original box art. I have the good guys, but not the bad guys. Where did I put it? See, and that's why I need to clean my room, because I didn't hang my picture back up. Here it is. Here it is. And you can see the Skeletor that they designed versus the Skeletor that we actually got in comparison. So a little bit different. They gave us a half boot Skeletor, and here they have just the stuff on the top. The 3 toes is correct, and then the sword, and so on. So we'll keep that in mind when we're looking at this figure, is the actual design versus the actual toy. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. Let's look at the box first. They have exploding rocks with electricity, kind of reminiscent of the original toy line we had as a kid. And let's cut this box open. Let's get this open now. All right. There we go. I don't know why I'm so careful about opening these boxes. I throw them all away anyway. They end up in my recycling downstairs, and about 2 minutes after the video, I toss them down the stairs, I stick in the recycle bin, and there they sit. All right, there is the figure. Just lay him down. And let's see, any goodies? There's our Cracker Jack prize. It feels like it's his sword. Let's take a look and see. Whoop! It's an extra hand. That's handy. And another extra hand. And his sword. And it's a 1-piece sword. It is not the 2-piece sword to connect to He-Man's sword. So I was wondering if they're going to go with that, since that was the original design originally, but original design originally. Too many originals in there. I don't see anything else in the box. I think I got it all. Yep. The box is empty. All right, already I already feel some disappointment coming across, and that is they painted his feet. I was hoping for the original design choice they would have not painted his feet or give him a half boot, one or the other. That's okay. It's okay. I will survive. Hey, hey, here is his Havoc staff. And here is Skeletor himself. All right. So let's straighten him out here. Line him up so he looks the best possible before we start dissecting him and talking about all his different articulation points. So the first thing we have is we have our ankle rockers. We have boot cut. We have double jointed knees. Oh, they're nice. We have thigh cuts. We have hip movement. It's supposed to be up and down movement too. You can see that joint. It's supposed to go up and down. But sometimes that joint takes a little bit of extra heat to get to that point. And then his waist turns. And he has an upper crunch in his chest right under his armor. Nice disguise there with the armor right there. I love that. Then we have shoulder movement. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. And wrists that move back and forth on the right. And wrists that moves back and forth on the left. And his head moves too. Now, the one thing I did notice right at the bat looking at this is they definitely gave us the bonnet. The bonnet, what is the bonnet, you ask? It is the little head, that hood that looks like it's a bonnet on his head instead of... Focus. There we go. That looks like a little bonnet instead of an actual hood. Anyway, so with that, let's take a look at the armor. And he has his belt. It's a separate piece. He has his armor on his back with a loop for his sword. The sword loop. And then he has open hands to hold his Havoc staff that he stole from Evelyn's father. The faceless one. Oh! There we go. Alright, so a couple things that's interesting is when I look at this, the sword holder and back reminds me a lot of 2000X. Actually, you know what this reminds me of more than our 80s figure? Here's a real 80s figure from the 80s. And this one is designed to look like the 80s figure. It's very reminiscent of the 80s figure. But actually the skin tone looks pretty close. That's funny. They did a pretty good job of the skin tone. I thought it wasn't blue enough, but I guess it is, looking at the original one. But this looks more like the original classics we got. Let's see if we can find original classics. Nope. It's going to take me a minute to find one in my box here. Nope. Yep. Okay. So here we have an original classics figure. And if you look at it, they made this look more like the box art than the actual toy. And so he has, no painted feet. They could have done a better job on this front though. And he has the sword holder in the back, just like the new one has. So even though they said this is based on the vintage, it looks like it's more based on classics with the reminiscent the way it looks. I mean, it's more classic looking than 80s looking. I know some things is more 80s looking, like in the belt right here, if you take a look. They got some kind of symbol, you can't quite tell what it is. I think it's supposed to be a skull, but I never could tell what it was. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Has 5 here. This one has 5 as well. I just don't know. It just seems more classics oriented than 80s oriented. I want your opinions about it. Now, again, what makes it more like the 80s too is he has the bird boots on the bottom. Now, we did get a version like that in classics where we have more the look like the original 80s. And you can see this one looks very reminiscent of that, with the arms and everything else. So kind of interesting. Let's compare him to the 2-pack Skeletor we got. 2-pack Skeletor. Now this 2-pack Skeletor is really blue. We're talking blue, 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 blue. His Havoc staff is the same, except this one is made of metal. And the armor and stuff, I actually like the armor coloring better on the 2-pack one, but I actually like the head better on this one. Check out the head. The head is a masterpiece. That looks like the Skeletor that we always assumed he should look like. His face is not too fat. He's got red eyes in the middle. He's got a really nice clean wash on him. And he's got a little bit of texture on the hood to give it that cloth look. So I actually really like the head on this one. Now, I like the fact the mouth in this one moves, but they just made his face just a little bit too fat. If his face was skinnier, like this one, it would be perfect. So, unfortunately, I can't do a head swap because the color of his hood does not match his armor. If I did the face swap, I'd have to do the armor swap as well. And I'm liking this purple armor. So I may have to find a way to either paint this guy's head or take the face off. Now, I have swapped faces before on figures. It is the exact same hood design. You can see it's the exact same hood. The wrinkles are in the same spot and everything. It's even got the same grain on it. So it is the same hood, just the face inside of it's different. So I may carefully try to pry these heads. Now, it looks like the connection point inside is a little different, so it may be different once I pull them apart. But these are definitely going to come apart. I should have brought some hot water in here. And I'm going to be sticking this face in his head and using it with my 2-pack. Yeah, it's really not that much different from the 2-pack except for the head. The sword's different too, though. I just noticed that. This sword has a shaft that has no detail on it. This one is wrapped with some kind of leather or something else. But besides that, the sword is pretty much the same. This one's metal, though. And this one's plastic. See? All right. I think I've covered the gambit with everything on this figure. I was actually a lot shorter than I was planning to make this video. I was hoping to make it a kind of long video about Skeletor. But there's just not really much new to this figure except for the head. But the head is amazing. That head screams a classic look to me. In fact, it looks so much like classics. It's kind of weird how much it looks like classics. But I actually like it a little better than my classics head. All right. Let me grab a couple more classics figures. I know the classics Battle Armor He-Man had a really good head. Let's take a look at that. Battle Armor He-Man. Battle Armor Skeletor. This was from the DC 2-pack. It's just way too yellow. Too yellow. Where is... There he is. Here is the Battle Armor Skeletor, and I like this one a lot, but you know what? It doesn't look as good. The wash is not as good. I thought it was better when I first got them, but actually, to tell you the truth, this head's actually better than that one. I guess as time goes on, you make different decisions, but yeah, the paint job on this is really cool for the head. If nothing else, I'd get it for the head. Even taking the head and putting it on your classics, if you really want that classics look with a good head, would really be cool. Let's just pull this head off and see how it looks. It is a little bigger. It does sit lower on the head, so you're going to have to put something in there to raise it up a little bit. that does not look too shabby. And you know what? With the ends being black, actually that color looks just fine the way it is without having to change it. All right, let's put it on my favorite Skeletor. Oop. This one right here, because this one actually has the stuff that looks like the original 80s figure. And I am liking that a lot. Yeah. So, sorry you guys. As you know, I do like classics a lot, but I do really like that head they produced. It's amazing. It just screams Skeletor more than a lot of other figures I've seen. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm always be partial to this Skeletor head. He's pretty cool too. But that is not bad at all. I like that. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to pull out all my Skeletor customs. I was thinking about it, but I'll just make a separate video someday again. And thanks for watching. And I will see you guys next video. Bye now. Oh, wait, I forgot to say. Like they say in the 1987 movie, where is that head with the moving mouth? There it is. He's heavy with those metal parts. Good journey. Good journey, you guys. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.